Hey sports fans, Coach Nick here and welcome to B-Ball Breakdown, which is brought to you today by Ectio. Click them and check it out. They have some fantastic shoes with built-in ankle support that will help you stay healthy and get in the game. Now let's talk a little bit about Isiah Thomas versus Kyrie Irving, because you may not have seen over the summer we did a breakdown comparing them. And in fact, the question was, is Isiah Thomas better than Kyrie Irving? Because last year in the advanced stats, we noticed that Isiah was rated higher in a lot of these categories. So I posited that question and people went at me like crazy. In fact, Kyrie tweeted at me and so did Isiah. So now we go to this year, we see Isiah has now taken over the point guard position and getting all the minutes and doing fantastic. So here's the key. It's not really about who is better and who is more talented. It's really about how you fit into your role. And that is what Isiah Thomas is doing a lot better. A lot of factors involved, obviously coaching and system, but that is what Isiah is doing to the tune of hammering the Cavs last night and really playing a lot better than Kyrie Irving. In case you missed it from September, after posting our video that asked the question if Isiah Thomas is better than Kyrie Irving, Kyrie himself responded to us on Twitter. That sparked a nice little exchange as Irving made a very good point. A couple of days later, Isiah Thomas got into the discussion with us as well, perhaps using this as motivation for his play against Kyrie last night. The bottom line? Follow us on Twitter, sports fans. Let's start by looking at some basic stats. Overall, Isiah has been much more efficient with a higher ranking in possessions that factor in points and assists he generates. Kyrie does lead in points and rebounds slightly, but it should be noted that he is still getting almost 3 more minutes per game. However, Isiah has been much more productive shooting the ball. This does not tell the whole story, however. After the first 18 games of the season, Isiah Thomas became the starter. In the 16 games since, his numbers go up even more. This directly refutes the notion that he would have become less productive with more minutes, as many people argued with me this summer. Let's dig a little deeper to the specific categories these two players use the most. First up is pick and roll ball handler, the most important category for a point guard in the NBA today. You can see that Kyrie Irving is elite, ranking only behind Kevin Durant and ahead of every other point guard in the NBA, minimum 150 possessions. Isiah Thomas comes in 14th on this list, 9th among all point guards. Another key category for a point guard is isolation, something a team requires from their guards, especially as the shot clock winds down. You can see that except for turnovers, Isiah Thomas is much more effective going one-on-one. With a minimum of 150 isolations, Isiah is 10th in the league, while Kyrie is 29th. And if we isolate how they fare when the shot clock is under 4 seconds, it is not even close. Let's move on to transition, which is another important category for point guards. This is fairly close, but Kyrie has the edge in efficiency. It should be noted that Kyrie does turn the ball over a lot more. However, when you factor in getting assists on the break, Isiah Thomas vaults ahead and sets his teammates up for threes more by a large margin. And Cleveland actually shoots the three better as a team than Sacramento. While both of these players are ball-dominant guards, they do spend some time off the ball and spotting up. And here's where there is a huge gap, as Isiah Thomas is able to do much more damage in this category than Kyrie can, breaking guys down from the perimeter. Now let's get to last night's game and see how they matched up head-to-head. As you can see, Isiah Thomas got the best of Kyrie in their individual matchup, as well as the outcome of the game. In this game, Kyrie seemed too willing to pull up for long twos, although it's also a function of the offense as Varejão's man was clogging the lane, but watch Isiah's effort on defense to contest. Kyrie shows nice footwork on this backdoor cut, fooling Isiah, but watch how he jumps off the right foot and shoots with the right hand. You have to double pump to balance your body, and it causes the miss. Kyrie hangs his head instead of getting back on defense, and Isiah takes advantage. It's his turn to jump off the left foot and finish with the left hand, albeit successfully. Mike Malone took advantage of Mike Brown's outdated high hedging of screening rolls, First, Kyrie isn't going fast enough to get around the screens, and by having Thompson try to stop the hyper-quick Thomas out there, it's simply allowing penetration. Varejao has to come over, and Isiah finds his man Boogie for the dunk. Again, Brown coaches his bigs to hedge high, and Isiah simply splits the slow-footed Varejao. While he misses the shot, it allows Boogie to get position to tip it in. Isiah had a chance to flash his speed, beating Kyrie up the court with his dribble. He ends up going too fast to finish the shot, and good effort by Kyrie, but it also appears he got away with some contact. Meanwhile, Kyrie comes down the floor and shows great vision by finding Zeller with a gorgeous bounce pass for a shooting foul. Kyrie only scored 3 field goals against the Kings, and on this one he was able to take advantage of Isiah on the bench and rookie Ben McLemore not being able to keep up. Here's another example of Kyrie settling for a long 2. In fact, it's the worst shot you can take with your foot in the three-point line, and Isiah contests with good effort. Kyrie needed to take advantage of his size better by keeping a hand up and not allowing Isiah to see the floor. Instead, his hands are down, and Luol Deng does a terrible job helping on his cross screen by getting out of the way and letting Boogie catch and score. Here's an interesting sequence in the third quarter where, again, Kyrie settles for a long 2 with a great contest by Isiah, who comes flying down the court and sees Cousins calling for the ball, but throws it too high, turns it over. Back comes Kyrie in transition with a really nice Euro step, but just couldn't get the roll. And while Kyrie might have felt there was no room to drive on those long 2s he was taking, here's an example of Isiah seeing plenty of calves in his way, yet still finishing strong at the rim. Kyrie didn't give up on defense despite the lopsided score, and was able to keep himself in front of Isiah and force the miss. Because Mike Brown does not play ice defense on pick and rolls, he's just putting the screener's defender in an impossible position to neither be able to slow a quick guard like Isiah from getting into the middle, nor stop this pretty pass to AC for the alley-oop. And it's hard to blame Isiah for gambling on this steal since he had gotten one just like it earlier, but Kyrie gets open along the baseline for this pretty reverse. Notice how he again jumps off the right foot and shoots with the right hand. So there you have it, sports fans. Okay, so the context is now with Rudy Gay and DeMarcus Cousins playing so well, they're going to argue, well, of course, Isiah Thomas is going to do better as well. But I'm going to tell you that it's those guys who are thankful to play with Isiah, a guy who puts a lot of pressure on the defense and opens it up. There's no doubt in my mind why Rudy Gay is suddenly shooting the best he's had in years. It's because Isiah is setting him up. So let's not overlook that notion either. He's a top-tier point guard and gets better with every minute he plays. Kyrie Irving is fantastic, has incredible skill, but he's also mired in a system that's not going to make his teammates as good as what they're doing in Sacramento. And so the bottom line here isn't necessarily who is more talented or who is better in that notion, but it's who is going to be more efficient in their roles. And right now, Isiah Thomas is killing Kyrie Irving.